Alright, my name is Michael Chandler, and yeah, I'm a nerd. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Rick DeLangelo, and I don't consider myself a nerd, but I'm just, I'm just accepted by every group and every ethnicity too. Right.
I'm Colin Weaver,
Yeah,
and this is Project N.I.C.E.
I have here today with me Mr.Bethany.
Why don't you introduce yourself, Mr. Bethany?
I'm Mr. Bethany. I'm the audio video production teacher here at the Career and Technology Center. And Colin, Victor, and Michael are students, and we're working on a podcast. So they wanted me as their guest. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here.
So, we just want to pick off on video games right off the bat. So, we have a specific kind of video game they like, maybe past games you play.
Yeah, so is there any games that you used to play when you were a child?
Oh man, well, growing up, I had the old Nintendo, like the first Nintendos. It was Super Mario, Zelda, Mega Man. I really liked Mega Man 2 was my favorite. And then a bunch of others that I don't even remember at this point, but those were the ones that stand out. And then, y'all want me to talk about games I like now, or do you just the ones from back in the day?
How about
You looking forward to seeing the upcoming games?
Well, probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Uncharted 4. My wife was nice enough to buy me a PS4 for Christmas. Not that I get a lot of time to play it, but so I got The Evil Within, which I thought was really cool.
It's really cool. I have that game. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean it's the same guys that did Resident Evil 4. That's one of my favorites. So it was pretty wicked. And then let's see, I got Shadow of Mordor, but I didn't really play it too much, so I ended up trading it off. And I just didn't have time to really get into it. When you have a 2-year-old at home, it kind of dampers your video game playing time.
Experience.
And then right now I'm kind of in the middle of Batman Arkham Knight, and I'm getting pretty close to the end of it. I mean, I'm not doing all the side missions, but I'm trying to. But just a matter of having time to play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Arkham Knight's kind of what I'm into right now. But it's a lot of fun. I like it.
So do you prefer the PlayStation or the Xbox?
To be honest, I used to have an Xbox, like just the black Xbox, like the first Xbox that came out, and I had Halo 2 and some other games on it, and I liked it. And then I ended up getting a PS3, and the first one I had ended up breaking, so I had to trade it in for a new one. And then my wife got me the PS4, so I've had more experience with PlayStation than I have Xbox. So I mean, I like PS4. I mean, I'm happy with it.
So I've been watching the upcoming E3 videos. We're looking at a lot of new video games coming up in the next year, especially here in December, where you're seeing multiple games by Tom Clancy, such as Rainbow Six. You guys heard of that?
Yes. I've heard of them. I've never actually gotten to play any of the Rainbow Six games, but I know Tom Clancy's probably making a little bit of money on it. I guess he's still alive. I guess. I don't know. Actually, but he wrote all the books. He's making money from that, and now that to have his name attached to all these games that are popular, I mean, he's getting a little bit of money. So he's doing pretty well for himself, and I'm sure he's glad that they're actually making decent games with his name on it. It'd be like Colin Weaver's Rainbow Six, and it'd be terrible. It wouldn't be much fun. You'd be like, wait a minute, I thought you were going to make a good game.
So, I'm going to be honest, I've watched a lot of gameplay on his old games. A lot of his old games were not really up to date. Like, they had great concepts. I think it was Ghost Recon. He had this stealth game that was all about stealth, and it had a really great concept, but then the graphics and the gameplay just sucked.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah. So we're really hoping these new games live up. I'm really looking forward to the Division.
Yes. Did you guys play Metal Gear Solid 4 on PS3?
Oh, yeah, I've watched it.
It's pretty good. That's the only Metal Gear game I played, and I know they have 5 out now, and it's getting good reviews. But that's how 4 was. You could do it either stealth, or you could just kind of go in all guns blazing. But I thought the stealth part was pretty cool. You could sneak around and stuff.
Have you watched the E3 videos yet?
I didn't even realize it was going on right now. I mean,
Well, there was like 2 E3s this year. I don't know what's up with that, but
I didn't realize there were going to be 2 about that.
But yeah, I love watching the game trailers, so I've been keeping up to date with those. Black Ops 3. Zombies.
You ever played first-person shooters?
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of the last one I played. I played, on PS3, I played, what were they called? Not Infamous, it's, I think it starts with an I. I can't remember the name of it now. But it's like about the alien invasion, and in the second one, he kind of gets, it's not possessed, but he kind of gets some of the alien blood in him or
Yeah,
something.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I just can't remember.
I can't remember the name either. It's like I want to bring it up, and I can't contribute because I can't remember the name. I played that when I played the first 2, and let's see what else.
Did you play the original Uncharted?
Oh yeah. I have all 3 of them, and then just waiting on 4. You know, I love those. But as far as first-person shooters, I'm kind of drawing a blank, and you know, I don't guess you could really consider the evil within a first-person shooter because it's more like third-person. You see the guy's back, but I mean it's sort of a shooter, I guess, but not really in the traditional sense. Oh, I know what the last shooter I played was BioShock Infinite. Yeah, big fan of those games.
A lot of friends that are fan of that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Have you played any RPG games?
You know, not really. As far as the RPGs, I've never. You know, once again, I don't have a lot of time, and those RPGs are huge. You know, I mean, I know that. Was it Skyrim and games like that are real big, and a buddy of mine has it, and I kind of watched him play it, and it looks awesome. It's just a little bit too big. I mean, you know, a game like Arkham Knight, like I mentioned, is perfect for me because it is somewhat open world, but it's still streamlined. I mean, you can kind of venture off and do other stuff. But you know, there is kind of
timeline.
Yeah, there's a beginning and an end. I mean, not that there's not in RPGs. It's just, you know, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I recently played what's called The Order 1868.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I really loved the designs and the graphics on it. It was really good.
Yeah. What?
I don't know, it was rough getting used to playing the storyline because I've been playing all these, you know, your choices affect the gameplay type games, and switching back to storyline driven, it's a huge difference.
What about, what is it, Bloodborne? That's supposed to be, I guess it's sort of like a Dark Souls game. Did you guys ever play that?
I haven't played it. A lot of my friends have it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't played it. I've heard of it, but I never played it.
Yeah.
They talk about how hard those games are, like the Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all that. How difficult those games are. And but they say it's you know, you just about the point you get to where you just want to throw your controller down. You get it
I've
down
played games like that.
It's like you feel like you accomplished something because you beat the challenge on it. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'd like to pick it up one of these days, but once again, matter of having time.
Yeah.
So another question, Mr. Bethany, have you ever considered playing online in PSN?
No. I mean, you know, my PS4, I have it connected to the internet, and I know it does, you know, way more than I use it for. I mean, other than playing games on my PS4, I mean, I've got Netflix and HBO and YouTube on it.
Yeah.
And so that's, as far as online, that's really all I do. I mean, I've actually never gone online and played against anybody else, so it's just a matter of not really giving it a shot. I mean, I don't do a lot of online stuff. I just pop the game in and just play it on my own. So I don't know. I guess it's maybe a generational type thing. I mean, once again, when I had my Nintendo, it was just, you know, you plug it in and you're on your own, you know, unless you're playing against one other person that's in the same room.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't say I grew up on the PS2, but for the longest I did play Nintendo 64. I mostly played a lot. Dropped the script.
You dropped your script.
I mostly played a lot of Donkey Kong for 64. Now that was a long game. You don't see games that long anymore.
Donkey.
That game, even if you played it from start to finish and you're really good at it, it would have taken you days because it had.
Yeah.
I remember me, my sister, and my brother playing Mario Kart on the 64.
Oh, come on.
We would sit there and be playing and driving around the track, and we'd scream at each other when one of us ran off the road.
You know what? Believe it or not, I've never played Mario Kart before. I know it's fun. I mean, I hear people talk about it all the time, and I just never had. Well, I mean, before I got my Xbox, I mean, the last system I had was a Sega Genesis. So I never had, the PlayStation 1 or the N64 or any of that stuff. I mean, that was kind of where, by then I was getting into other things, I guess. Growing up, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't mean that as like a, as an insult or anything.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked video games. Just life kind of gets to where you don't have as much time anymore. And I was going to college and all that. And just had other things going on.
That's how it is for me now.
Yeah, so we'll just say enjoy the time you have, and because there might be a couple of more systems that come out before you get around to playing again, so it might be up to PlayStation 8.
See, enjoying the time we have. I see a lot of players out there who don't do that, especially because I love playing Call of Duty, but it's like I don't say that Call of Duty is a great game or anything. I play it because I enjoy it. But I see so many players who will get on there and they complain about the game so much. I'm just like, if you hate the game so much, why are you here? Why are you spending $120?
Those games get a lot of criticism, but yet they sell.
They're the top of the line selling.
And I guess that's another thing about the online play is that you get online and you have people that want to talk trash and insult you and all, like somebody you don't even know.
That's what I'm hoping.
I don't need that in my life,
That's what I'm looking forward to, the Division, because the whole point of the Division is to work with the team, a 4-person team, and go out there and work together, and that's the whole focus of the game. And that's going to either work really well or it's just going to crash.
Yeah.
People aren't going to do it right.
Just depends on who's playing. If people can be mature enough to work together and not insult each other, if they're it's just about working as a team. I mean, that's with anything. So
Co-op
Yeah.
games.
right.
A lot of those coming out.
Are you familiar with Grand Theft Auto? That franchise?
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I played was 4. Grand Theft Auto, was it San Andreas, I think?
That was like 3. Yeah.
Was it 3? Oh, okay. I had San Andreas for a while. I didn't get very far in it. I did some stuff, but I didn't take it very far.
Yeah.
Once again, it was one of those that was just big. There was so much to do.
I think I played a little bit of 2,
Yeah.
but mostly because my parents didn't want me playing that.
Yeah, was never allowed to play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite one?
Mine was Grand Theft Auto 5 because of the graphics and everything. Because when you play Grand Theft Auto 4, I mean, the driving was kind of crappy, and then the graphics were also pretty bad. And then when 5 came out, I had got it. I was just like really surprised that it was like really good, and they put a lot of design and graphics into it. And the storyline is pretty long, and I just like how they went with the storyline, especially when you're online with friends. It's really good.
Now, each game is independent of each other. Right? Like it's not the same character that's moving over to the next game. Right?
Well, Mr. Bethany, do you have any questions for us?
I guess, sometimes these sites like IGN, they'll talk about a game like Destiny. They just run it into the ground. It's like right now, it's kind of all Metal Gear Solid. But before a game comes out, they'll just run it into the ground, and then their review will come out for the game, and it's not that good. That's kind of how Destiny was.
Yeah.
So has there ever been a game that you guys were like just hyped about that it finally came out and you're like, man, this just wasn't as, I'm just kind of disappointed,
Call of Duty's not the
Advanced
best.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Advanced Warfare?
All the because they released zombies after they released the game, and they're like, we're gonna have zombies, and there was all oh my god, they're gonna bring zombies. Because that was the best thing Call of Duty ever brought, if you
Yeah.
ask me, was zombies.
We
It was
all do.
the most complex storyline of zombies we've ever seen.
Like Call of Duty.
And then they were all like, we're gonna have zombies. And then I played it, and then they left a little teaser for it in the co-op, and I played that, and it was really awesome. And they finally brought in the zombies, and it just sucked.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared because they're bringing out this Black Ops 3, and it's made by Treyarch, and they've made all the past popular zombies games. So they're expected to do really good. If they mess this up, there's going to be a lot of fans that are not going to be happy.
Well, so were a lot of the fans disappointed in the zombie one as well, or was it just kind of
Yeah.
it was just kind of universally panned, I guess?
Yeah, they didn't even follow the normal zombies storyline.
So I guess Treyarch,
So
they're under some pressure right now.
yeah,
to
they're
make
under a
it
lot
good,
of
right?
pressure there because everyone expects them to pick up. Because Sledgehammer was the company that made Advanced Warfare, and they bombed the zombies. So everyone's looking to Treyarch to save it. You know.
Yeah, because doesn't Call of Duty? I mean, I know they do one every year, pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean, it kind of rotates between one company and
Yeah, they have
another.
3
Yeah.
companies, I believe.
It's Sledgehammer, Activision, and Treyarch, right? I think Activision's in there.
Well, Activision, I think, is the overall. Because they do all the Treyarch ones as well.
Which company
But yeah,
tends to do the best ones? I mean, is it?
so far, I think Treyarch's going to win.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, the original ones weren't made by Treyarch.
Oh yeah, the other company was Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward, yeah, they were the ones that made the
Yeah.
Modern Warfare.
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare's. Yep.
You know what's funny about Activision is I don't know if you guys realize how long they've been around. Well, I mean, there used to be like an Activision console back in the early 80s.
Back in the day.
My cousin used to have one, and I mean it was like an Atari. It was back in the Atari days, and anyway, I mean it just goes to show how far back they go. So
This is segment 2 of our session today. We have 2 guest hosts with us today. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
My name's David Castilla. I'm a big time gamer. And I'm a redneck.
No, he's not.
I'm William Smith. I'm just a dude.
That's it.
Yeah.
Earlier today, we interviewed a Dr. Lawson, I believe was his name, about his
Mr.
experience with
Lawson.
movies. Mr. Lawson, we interviewed him about his experience with movies, and we'll play that clip for you guys later, so we just go in and get started. What's your favorite movie genre?
My favorite movie genre would have to be mystery. Very interesting. There's a lot of intrigue. Not a lot of mystery movies these days, though. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Or good ones, at least. There's a lot. Yeah.
Why some good ones?
I like crime and mystery when it comes to TV because they can draw it out. But when it comes to movies, I'm more of a horror fan.
I agree with him. I love horror. That's my thing, man. You know, I haven't found a movie that could actually make me scared. I mean, man, I jump, but you know, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I see some people actually cry watching movies and stuff like that. What about you, Michael?
I enjoy horror, but can't say it doesn't scare me. I'm not even gonna lie there.
I'm tired of jump scares. That's what I'm tired of.
Yeah,
Not scary. Just because they surprise you doesn't mean they're
And
scary.
you can already
Yeah.
hear it in the music. And if it's not a jump scare, it's just it's anticlimactic. Yeah. What about you, David? What's your
Horror
favorite?
movies are not really my favorite, but I like to watch them.
You get scared easy.
Yeah. Especially at the jump scares.
Boo.
Right. Yeah.
What I love is taking my grandmother to a horror movie because she'll literally sit there and practically claw your arm every time. She does that even at a regular movie. Like, if something surprises her, she'll just grab your arm, practically rip it off, if you ask me.
What would be your favorite movie, William? If you could have a favorite movie.
That's a hard question. I would like to say, I think one of the most memorable movies I've seen is Shutter Island.
I
Yeah.
remember that movie.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily the best movie ever, but it's
intriguing,
memorable.
but,
Yeah. It's pretty intense.
What about you?
Oh, that's a tough one. I've seen everything from Silence of the Lambs to Jason X.
Sounds and Limbs
So-
is good.
I've yet to see that movie, but I've seen it.
It's really good. But what I really think is going to be a great movie is this upcoming movie I just watched the trailer for.
What is it?
The movie's called Before I Wake. This child when he sleeps, his dreams come to real life. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
What about you, Michael? What's your favorite movie?
I can't really pick a favorite. Honestly, it's between movies like Up or Avatar. You know, there's a lot of movies out there that I would consider a favorite.
What did you like about Avatar that made it significant?
First
The
of all,
graphics,
Are
like
you
the
talking
scenery,
about-
the animations.
which Avatar?
Not that one.
Not
Like
which-
the one with the blue monkeys and the trees.
They're
and
not
the
monkeys.
James
neon
Cameron's
lights.
Avatar.
The
They're not being-
I don't want to say what I was gonna say because it's inappropriate. I'll tell you guys later. But alright, what about you, David?
One of my favorite movies,
Yeah.
it's actually an old school movie, and it would have to be the Godzilla movie.
It's old
Oh,
school.
yeah.
Godzilla.
I like the new Godzilla.
I
do as
wasn't
well.
really a big fan of that one. It was just like a big dinosaur. They didn't really-
What's your favorite monster that isn't Godzilla?
I would have to go with
You say King Kong, I'm kicking you out of this room.
King Kong.
Damn.
So here we have Mr. Lawson for an interview. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, listeners. I'm Mr. Lawson. I'm the counselor at the Career Technology Center.
So we're talking about movies today. First question was, what's your favorite genre of movie?
My favorite genre movie, I guess, would be the action, adventure, science fiction genre. All of the movies that kind of wrap those elements into it.
You have like a favorite movie?
Probably my favorite movie series would be Star Wars.
Yeah, I was gonna say Star Wars and Star Trek because he said action, adventure, and it's sci-fi. I was like, Star Wars right there. You
I
know?
figured that was it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad took me and my brother and sister to see Star Wars in 1977, the very first one. And so from that point on,
I've seen that in the movies.
yeah, that was a pretty awesome deal. Looking back, it was one of my favorite memories with our dad. And so I got hooked on it then, and then we just couldn't wait for the next one to come out, The Empire Strikes Back, and it was even better than Star Wars, which they later branded A New Hope. Originally, it was just called Star Wars. And then The Return of the Jedi was pretty good too. It was a pretty good way to end out that trilogy. But probably the best one of the original trilogy was The Empire Strikes Back. So of course, as a young adult, or a middle-aged adult, I was eagerly anticipating George Lucas's return to the Star Wars story. And sadly, I was disappointed with The Phantom Menace and with the prequels. So they had their moments, the special effects was maybe be a little better, but the storylines were kind of flat, and the acting was kind of flat, and it just did not have the same magic as the original series then. And of course, there was Jar Jar Binks. And when I saw Jar Jar Binks, I wanted to throw up. So those were a disappointment. However, with the new return of Episode 7, that's going to be out in theaters in December of 2015, I'm excited again and looking forward to seeing what J.J. Abrams is going to do at the helm of the Star Wars franchise. And I'm hoping that somewhere along the way they're going to show the bleached bones of Jar Jar Binks on the deserts of Tatooine.
What do you think about Disney buying Lucasfilms?
Oh, I hadn't really thought a whole lot about it. Disney just seems like they're buying up everything. As long as they allow the people involved with those companies to continue to exercise their creativity and give them license to do what they do and not start trying to control or change the way that they've always done business. So I think they also bought up Marvel, which has the Avengers franchise and Spider-Man and all those Marvel movies as well. So as long as they let Stan Lee, let Jack Kirby and the creative team continue to do what they do.
Do you have any favorite like horror films?
I don't really watch a lot of horror films. I think maybe I like the suspense films or the thrillers more than just like the slasher movies.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy those. I enjoy the psychological thrillers. Those are really interesting. So I guess a good example would be M.Night Shyamalan movies. If you ever seen any of those, okay? Because his stories.
I love that one.
That's awesome, isn't it? I love that one.
I remember watching that. I was like,
The Village.
high.
Yeah, those are pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because he always has it's an interesting twist to it, and that is the fun of watching those movies, because the story is so intricate, and then the twist that most of the time you never see coming. Like in The Village, I won't give it away, so in case somebody hasn't seen it yet, but that is a great story, and you really get sucked into this story, and you think that you are in like 18th century America. And so anyway, interesting. He's got another one called The Elevator. Have you seen that one? I think it's called The Elevator, or what was it called? But anyway, in the elevator, this elevator gets stuck between floors, and the people in the elevator, they are all mysteriously dying. The lights will go off and they'll die one by one.
I know what you're talking about. It's called Devil.
That's it? Okay, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember
Devil.
that.
Yeah,
And then
but it
the
happens
end,
in the elevator.
I don't want to say these. I don't want to ruin the ending.
Don't ruin it for your listeners, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are the types of movies I would like. I'm not really so much into like the Freddy Krueger movies, or just the slasher gore movies. That doesn't really, not really good storyline. Now with horror in that genre in TV, I like the zombie shows, like The Walking Dead. Love that show because it's got some of the gore from the zombies, but it also is just wonderful stories. Just this band of people that come together and they're fighting against the odds, and they're sticking together and working together to overcome insurmountable obstacles, and yet they continue to persevere. So great storylines, great special effects, and a lot of action there too.
You mentioned suspense movies, so that reminded me of this small genre out there that I don't really see any new movies come out for it anymore. It's centered entirely on suspense. A couple movies come to mind, such as Man on a Ledge and Telephone Booth, I believe it was called. It's this old movie and I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
The entire movie takes place in a telephone booth and on the road around it. And the whole movie is just this guy who walks by this telephone booth every day, and then one day he gets a call from this telephone booth, which of course would be weird because telephone booths, you can't call the telephone booth.
Wow. Yeah,
And this whole thing is this psychological contest between the psychopath and this guy in the phone booth.
Wow. I haven't ever seen that
I
one.
think I know what you're talking about. He's in there, and then like
The whole movie is
threats
just
and threats and stuff.
yeah, just the whole movie's utter
That's really
suspense. It's
So you said you like sci-fi and action films. What have you read any action books that you would like to see in a movie?
I think the ones I would like to see in movies have been made into movies. Years ago, my son and I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the whole collection of those, and those have been made into movies. And then, of course, The Hobbit was a prequel to that particular series, and so after we saw the Lord of the Rings movies, I thought that'd be good if they would go back and make a Hobbit movie. And so Peter Jackson has done that. So he's made a 3-part series on the Hobbit. So those are pretty cool. Can't really think of any other books that I'd like to see made into movies. They've already done Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know if that was a book or not, but it should be, because Napoleon Dynamite's a hilarious movie.
Yeah, it was a hilarious movie.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this one.
Well, going off of that, are there any movies you'd like to read as a book?
Probably not, because once you've seen the movie, you kind of know the story. That's my thinking. Now, if you see a movie that's based on the book, then it's often good to go back and read the book, because the book does have so much more intricacy and detail to it, and you have a deeper appreciation for the story. You take a book that would take you, 7 or 8 hours to read, and you condense it down to an hour and a half. It's going to be cut quite a bit from the movie into the movie there.
going off of that. An example a while back of the movie and the book being way off. My favorite book series to this day has always been the Aragon series, The Inheritance Cycle. And when they made a movie off of the first book, it sucked, to be honest.
Yeah.
And if there's one movie, like if anybody ever asks me if there's one movie you want to see remade, I want to see that movie redone way better, because they did not do a good job.
Yeah, certainly, and that's what happens a lot when you are into literature and then you go to see the movie and you're usually disappointed.
I usually try to watch the movie first, because if you watch the movie first, it looks really good, and then you read the book and it's like, oh cool, it looks better.
Well, one book that I read years ago that made into a movie that did a bad job on was Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. The book, it takes like 3 minutes to read the book, and so I was thinking, how are you going to take a 3 minute to read book and turn that into a major motion picture? And so we went to see that with some friends, and sure enough, the movie was horrible. It was just, the story was all chopped up, and they added so many different elements to it and side stories, and it was just horrible rendition. So they need to redo Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add?
I was wondering if you've ever read of these new series that are coming out, like the Hunger Games. Have you ever read the books?
I have read the Hunger Games, actually. Yes.
Are you looking forward to watch the movies?
Mm-hmm. I've seen the movies that have come out so far, and I like the books a lot better, I think. The Hunger Games do a pretty good job staying true to the book. That's kind of where our discussion has gone, it seems like. And they do a really good job with that. But the stories are really good. I enjoyed reading those. At the time, that was kind of a fresh type of story to me. So, I've read the Harry Potter series, which is kind of a young adult. And I've read a lot of books for my son. The Chronicles of Narnia, that whole series, and then The Lord of the Rings was something that we spent time reading together. And then all the Harry Potter series, of course. And then Hunger Games was really interesting because it was kind of a different sort of a vibe to it. When you think about some of these other really popular books that young adults read, like the Aragorn series or Harry Potter, people read that and they can put themselves into those settings and say, I'd like to go to live in a castle. Or I'd like to go to Narnia and live there. I'd like to maybe go to Hogwarts and be a student in Gryffindor. But when you read the Hunger Games, nobody says, I'd like to go live in District 12. Nobody says that. It's, no, I don't want to be anywhere around that. So it's a different type of story altogether. But very good stories, and I think the movies turned out pretty well.
Anything else, guys?
I'm thinking we should break for fresh air because it's getting stuck in here. So.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll call that a wrap.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for letting me do this. This is a lot of fun. If I can help in the future, let me know.
Our pleasure of having you.
Okay.
This has been Project Nice today of entertainment. Video games and movies was the topic of the session. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact thelastrodragon@gmail.com. You need to spell out for you THELASTREDDRAGON @symbol.com. Wait, I left some out there, didn't I? Add in the Gmail before that .com and you should be fine. Is there anything else we need to add? Special shout out to, well, everyone. Can't really think of anyone special. We guys quote of the day. Give a shout out to Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. Can you say these words, please? Just do it. Say these words.
Just do it.
Like you mean it. Just do it. Thank you. All right. A special thanks to all of our interviewees, Mr. Lawson, who made us look like total, not professional at all. Answered all of our questions before we even asked him. He was really great. Special thanks to him. Thanks to all of our guest hosts, Mr.Bethany, who's still not giving us extra credit for including him, Will, and David. Our 3 group members have already introduced themselves, so we don't need to outro them. See you next time. There's not much else to add. See you next time.
Where's Victor?
I don't know. I think I killed him.